Anyway, there's the music. 833-852-4866. I'm here with Anthony Cumia, and we're going to have a friend join us, Anthony.
Oh, nice.
Yes. We'll be back on the Tom Shillue Show.
Conservative, quirky, Tom Shillue.
These airplanes are very volatile situations. They're closing the cabin door. You got to do what you're told. It drives me crazy, people who don't do what the flight attendants tell them to do. I think these flight attendants should be more like air marshals. It's always find your way to your seats. No, don't find your way. Sit down and shut up, everybody. We're on an airplane. And if we ask one of you jerks to leave, get off the plane, or we're going to drag you off. It's tough time with these people.
Tom Shillue, live weekdays at 3 p.m. East, noon West.
FoxNewsTalk.com.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's the Breathe Easies with another one of your favorite hits.
Don't smoke in the Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. Movie mogul Harvey Weinstein a step closer to being arrested on rape charges. Boardwalk Empire actress Paz de la Huerta says he raped her twice in 2010, then harassed her with phone calls. New York City Chief of Detectives Robert Boyce.
We have an actionable case here. So we are happy with where the investigation is right now. Mr. Weinstein is out of state. We would need a arrest warrant.
Former child star Corey Feldman names one of his alleged abusers.
Corey Feldman finally dropped a name on Dr. Oz's show. The 80s star said the man who attacked him when he was 14 years old is John Grissom, an actor who had small roles in the films License to Drive and Dream a Little Dream. Feldman has been consistently saying there is a pedophile ring in Hollywood, and he has more names.
Fox's Michelle Polino. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Have an added challenge, coming up with the money to pay for treatment. A survey commissioned by the American Society of Clinical Oncology finds more than 1 out of 4 cancer patients cut back on some part of their treatment to keep their costs down. According to the survey, some patients skip doctor's appointments, others refuse chemo or other treatments, while others don't fill prescriptions or cut pills in half to stretch their supply. In other findings, the survey says most Americans think the government should help keep prescription costs down. But while most Americans are in favor of cancer research, less than half of those surveyed think more money should be spent on screenings and other cancer prevention measures. And the survey says only 1 out of 3 Americans know that obesity and alcohol use can increase your risk of cancer. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Joy Piazza, Fox News.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice to have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
The family of a young boy diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer makes the Dean's List for turning his favorite holiday into a way to lift his spirits. 7-year-old Brock Chadwick of Bedford, Maine, was diagnosed with glioblastoma earlier this year. To cheer him up, his family asked strangers to send Halloween cards. What they thought would be a small donation exploded into a global movement with hundreds of cards, packages, and well wishes. Brock's mom, Brittany, said her son's great-aunt came up with the idea, naming the project Brocktoberfest and posting it on Facebook.
Just tons of packages of toys and candy and cards. I mean, he's loving every second of it.
Brock and his sister thank you all. Friends, family, and volunteers plan to decorate Brock's home for Halloween. Thank you to all of those who donated to Brocktoberfest. Brock, you're awesome. You and your family made the Dean's List. Janice Dean, Fox News.
I was 11 years old at my first national championships. I fell I don't know how many times.
Michelle Kwan is the most decorated figure skater in U.S. history.
But I had a dream. My dream came true because I dedicated myself.
Dedication made Michelle Kwan a champion.
I was passionate about something and I made sure that I worked hard for it.
And dedication can make your dreams a reality.
Whatever your dream and goals are, they can come true.
Dedication. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Have a problem with Tom Shillue? Give him a call.
833-852-4866.
Let's work it out.
Tom Shillue.
Yeah, we work it out here on the Tom Shillue Show. I'm here with Anthony Cumia, host of the Artie and Anthony Show on his own network. And now I'm joined by Kat Timpf.
Hey!
FNC contributor.
That's me.
And reporter for National Review, right?
That's me, too.
Yeah. You write those nice little short stories.
I do.
You know, I love it because you don't go on and on. You just give us the story, and then we move on.
Yeah, I write. My pieces are always way longer, and then I just go back and just cut them to be short.
Thank you. Don't you hate stories?
I can't stand when you're going down, especially when you're done. You're pretty much done with the story.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, there's more?
Yeah.
What are they talking about now?
I know. You know what drives me crazy? When a news story starts off and it's like, I sat down at a cafe with so-and-so in Budapest. I'm like, I don't care about your dumb cafe.
Right.
Like, they try to make it into a story, and then the profile, the celebrity profile where it's like, I met so-and-so as we walked on the whatever. And I'm like, just tell me, did he molest the person or not? Like, don't tell me you met him in a cafe.
Sleepy town, a diner, a garage. The kind of town anyone would have gone. Shut up!
I know.
We get it.
It was the afternoon, or maybe it was morning. I don't quite recall.
Yeah.
It also could have been evening as well, but more dusk.
But that's it. That's what I'm saying. When your stories, I'm not saying that you phone them in.
No.
You just get to it, and then you get the story, and we talk about it.
Concise.
Right? Yes.
They call that concise.
So, Kat, you were telling me when you came in, you're exhausted because you're what? Because you sat at a desk. That's not exhausting.
Yeah, it's so exhausting. You just sit there and you think about you think about stuff. It's never good.
Thinking about stuff is
really
not
exhausting to have, some time in the quiet with your thoughts.
Yeah, it's true.
It depends on what maybe just my thoughts are exhausting.
Well, I want to, I don't know if you guys have been, obviously the NFL, we talked it to death, and then I said, we're not going to talk about the NFL anymore. We can't get another hour out of this. And then all of a sudden, I bring it up, and the calls light up. Everyone loves talking about the NFL and the protests. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, the latest story, the latest company to get whipped up into this frenzy. Papa John's said that basically sales are down, and they blamed because they're a huge sponsor of the NFL. Mm-hmm. Whenever you watch the games, right, Kat?
I'm like at the bar where they're on, yeah.
Yeah. Barstool Sports, right? But you see that Papa John's is a huge sponsor of the games. The attendance is down on the games, ratings are down. Papa John's was on a conference call doing what he has to do, report on his earnings, and he said, look, earnings are down, and I have to blame the NFL. They've bungled this thing. What do you think of that, Anthony? Do you agree?
I do agree. I think this is the thing that will end this. All the fake morality and ethics and let people express themselves and stuff, that all goes away the second the bottom line is messed with.
Yeah.
And he's the first one to kind of come out and say, hey, I'm losing money on this. There'll be other sponsors, maybe Budweiser will come out or Coke or something. Mm-hmm. And then once that happens, watch how quickly they remedy this. Get up, everyone. I want you standing up for Papa John's.
So Papa John's is going to succeed where, who's this guy? Who's the NFL guy?
Yeah.
Goodell,
right? That he's failed. Kat, something tells me that you have a different opinion.
I
about
do.
This. Yeah. What do you?
So they had to know that there would be this kind of reaction.
Papa John's?
Yes.
Well, it was a conference call, though. He doesn't know people are listening to
nothing is private. Everyone's always listening. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the thoughts that exhaust me, but they're true.
Yeah.
Always being listened to and watched, especially if you run in a company. People are going to be paying attention. These protests are people saying, institutional racism is police brutality, taking lives of black people and ruining lives of black families. And he comes out and basically says, but, stop it. We can't sell any pizza.
So you're saying
anybody who is behind this protest, I mean, they're just going to be floored by it. So I'm not surprised.
What if it's another company, though? Is it just because pizza seems frivolous? Like if it's... Shouldn't companies be able to feel the same way that citizens do? And a lot of citizens think, look, you and your protest is fine, but not during the national anthem.
But when they say that, they're saying, listen, you and your institutional racism are fine, but the more you talk about racism, the less pizza we're selling. So if you could please just let the racism thing go, and the unarmed people who've been killed, can we just get over that? Because we're having trouble, we got a lot of pepperoni in the back we need to get rid of. It sounds insensitive.
Yeah. I am insensitive.
But his job is pizza.
Yeah.
Like his job to his stockholders and everything is to make money. And how far down the line do you have to go from the protesters and someone that goes, I don't appreciate that, all the way down to a guy that's just trying to keep his business going? Like, I don't think...
Well, he didn't do it. If he's trying to keep his business going, then shouldn't have said that. That's kind of my point.
This guy, the CEO, Greg Creed, he's the CEO of... Oh, no,
Hey, Creed!
I'm sorry, Greg Creed is Pizza Hut. So Pizza Hut responded to Papa John's by saying, hey, dude, our sales are up. It's on you and your bad pizza. So what do you... First of all...
I love pizzas fighting on Twitter.
Yeah. We've reached that point.
DiGiorno, which is, as you know, not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Thanks, Tom. We're talking about this segment, so you could use that joke, right?
I mean, I want to say that DiGiorno has they're in the game too. DiGiorno says... their sales are up, and it says, hey, dudes, better pizza, better sales. I guess that's Papa John's slogan. So it's intra-pizza fighting.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me who you think, tell me what you think makes the best pizza. DiGiorno, obviously, comes out of your freezer. Then you've got Pizza Hut and Papa John's. So of those, who's the best pizza?
I mean, I like Little Caesars.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Detroit gal. I like Little Caesars.
Any of that delivery pizza is so last option possible. It's 11:30. No one's delivering food or something.
I love it.
Do you?
It scratches a certain itch. You can go to a restaurant in New York, get some nice pizza, some good pizza, but sometimes I want to put garbage in my body.
Yeah.
You know what? I used to talk about pathetic. When I lived down on Liberty Street, I used to walk into Papa John's and buy a pizza and take it home with me. Like, there's no excuse.
No, you could have gone somewhere else. That's really...
But it scratches a certain itch.
Yes, and how about they come with those, salad dressing that you're supposed to dip your pizza in or something? It's like...
I like to dip in marinara and ranch, and then... I have some Parmesan cheese and put it in the Parmesan cheese, so it's got a nice little.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I said, garbage. I'm a garbage person when I eat.
I'm all about New York.
But
just pizza slice, and that's great for me.
Anthony, isn't that a bit of an elitist though? Like, you're from New York. Most of the regions of this country, most of the heartland of America, the only place you can get it is Domino's. They really are out there. They're the ones selling the pizza to America. Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, Little Caesars. You're right. These huge chains. We are pizza snobs because we can go down.
We really are and get the best pizza ever.
Yes, but we're looking down our big city noses at these big pizza establishments.
Yeah, I will never say that the other pizzas aren't edible. I mean, I enjoyed the Elios that they would slap on you in school on Friday pizza day. Like, that to me was even great.
Squares of pizza.
Square little cardboard pizza. But, when you're in New York, you just have had the best. So I don't really care about... I don't see any difference in Papa John's or Domino's.
I like pineapple, too.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. See, that's a big
pineapple
bone of
pizza
contention.
When you dip it in ranch is so good.
My daughter said, Dad, let's get some pineapple pizza recently. I said, why? You should... For an 11-year-old, I didn't think...
that's always my favorite.
Did you resort to corporal punishment for that one?
I said...
Just start,
You know who did that? California Pizza Kitchen. That's who started that pineapple nonsense. And
hippie
I used to work there.
You did?
Really?
Speaking of, you worked at a restaurant. I have this telltale signs you're a terrible restaurant customer. This was written by a waiter or waitress. And they said, never say to your waiter that you worked at a restaurant. It offends her. Does that strike you as...
Wow.
That never offended me, but it did make me nervous because I was such a bad waitress that
you thought you were being judged.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I was bad. The lowest tip that I've ever given somebody is 20%. If they're trash, I'll give them 20% because I was trash, and I know how I was the worst waitress ever to work in
So
a
hard on
restaurant.
yourself. You're a trash waitress. You're a garbage eater. I mean, what's going on?
I don't think being a garbage eater is a bad person. It makes me a bad person. I just like to eat garbage food. But the waitress thing is just facts.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised I was only fired from one restaurant. I don't know how I kept getting these jobs. My references couldn't have said nice things about me.
If I get a lousy waitress just because she's lousy, I'll still tip. Yeah, at least 20%. The only time I wouldn't tip or tip really an insulting tip is if I thought it was personal for some reason.
Yeah.
And that's never happened. If it's just a person having a crappy day at work, yeah, what am I going to do? I'll still tip.
I'll just go over some of the rules, see if you break any of these. Never interrupt the server's intro. Hi, my name is Water. Like you don't.
I do that.
You do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kat, you seem like you have no patience for that.
I'm like, I don't want to sit there and read your blah here. I know, like, whatever. That's why California Pizza Kitchen. I also didn't do it when I was a waitress. You're supposed to like promote certain things, and and they had these. It was like a big corporation, so they had secret shoppers that would come in and like they check off if you did the intro with the specials, if you
spies.
if you did certain upsells, and everyone's always like, if Kat gets one of these shoppers, she's gonna be fired immediately. But thankfully I never got one, and I was able to last long enough to quit.
Anthony, self-seating is a no-no. Do you ever just sit down?
Oh, no. It says wait to be seated. What are you doing?
I'm not an animal. I don't do that.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Never brag about being a great tipper before the service begins. Do you ever do that? Like, by the way?
No, you don't want to show your hand like that.
Wow,
I'm trying to think of something that Anthony does.
Yeah.
How about what's the quickest thing you have? Do you ever say that if you're in a hurry?
Oh, no, but I have said, like, I have told the waitress that I am in a bit more of a hurry today. I have to be out of here in a certain amount of time.
I've done it.
You've done it?
Yeah. Is that
sometimes
bad?
you just are in a hurry.
Yeah, sometimes you're really just in a hurry. I'm not trying to, get my stuff
it's good to be.
This is what she says to that. Hi, we have a show to get to in 17 minutes. What can you get us immediately? This isn't Long John Silver, she says. You wank dolphin.
Wow.
So I'm a wank dolphin.
She's being insulting. I'm just reading you what she said.
I would never put it like that.
It's good to know. It's good to know what's the quickest thing. That's like a question you should be able to answer. And if there's somewhere in the middle between like Long John Silver's and like a meal that takes forever.
Yeah,
I seated myself because we're in a hurry. I'm a great tipper, so don't worry.
Yeah,
you just
do
break
them all.
every single rule.
Yeah, and water, and go get me water. And what's the fastest thing in your?
Why does she want to read the specials so bad? I loved when people interrupted me right away because
I never wanted to do them. I was not a good waiter. I was confused. I'm not an organized person.
Same.
Here's the thing. Kat, tell me if this happened to you. I would come back. I would be always in the weeds because there'd be like 4 or 5 tables eating. Yeah. You go to the waiter station. This was back in the 90s. They'd be smoking. The other waiters would be standing there having cigarettes, talking about their auditions and everything. And I'm like, what? How can you be here hanging around? Like, the restaurant is full of people. I didn't understand. I never had time for anything.
Yeah, I never did either. And I never really carried many of my own plates because they were, like, super heavy. I would forget things. And then when I forgot them, instead of being like, I'll be right back with that, I would ask the person if they were mad at me. I'd be like, are you upset? They're like, I treated my tables like my therapist.
You never did it, did you, Anthony? You were blue collar.
Never, no. I worked in like the kitchen, the dishwashing stuff and all that. But so I know that it's that. All right. Well, our busy time is coming up, and you're just panicking because it's coming in at a crazy speed. You can't just stop.
Yeah.
I was always amazed at the waiters and waitresses that didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
What'll you have? I'm like, oh no. And then someone changes the order at the table. You're just like, they are going to screw this up.
My wife was that way, never wrote anything down. And she worked in like 5-star restaurants, like total, like on Central Park West. And it would be a huge table of like 12 people. And she would just listen to the order and walk into the kitchen.
I've had people do that, but then they come back and go, excuse me, I'm sorry, was that?
Yeah. No,
I'm like, well, you just blew it.
It's like, this isn't the Olympics. Why don't you just write it down? Like,
write it down.
It's not like we're going to give, you get points deducted for using a pen. This isn't a competition.
For some it is, Kat.
I once cried through an entire serving shift while I was a waitress.
I would have tipped the hell out of
my
that.
boyfriend of like 4 years broke up with me in a Facebook message when I was like 22 years old, and then I had to go to work, and I just was sobbing violently the entire time I was waiting tables.
How funny is it, Anthony, that her childhood stories involve Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. I know that.
I mean, not childhood. I said 22.
Practically didn't have telephone poles when I was
I may
a
have
waiter.
been behaving like a child, but I was an adult.
My girlfriend broke up to me by telegraph. beep, 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 beep. Oh, no.
And he's got the green visor on, interpreting his Dear John letter.
I think you guys are really sidestepping how insensitive it was that I had to go through that.
I know, it's true.
Thank you.
Let's take a break on the Tom Shillue Show. We'll be back with Anthony and Kat.
Can't listen to all 3 hours? Your FOMO getting the best of you? Download the podcast. Go to TomShillueShow.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-582-7585. That's 1-800-582-7585.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-611-5153. That's 800-611-5153. 800-611-5153.
Now, from the historical audio archives of Fox News Talk.
In 1971, Margaret Thatcher, then a member of Parliament, addressed the ability of women to be successful in government. This was 8 years before she became Prime Minister.
Now, I've heard this argument frequently that women are really rather more emotional than men. Really, women are intensely practical. Again, I don't mean that flippantly. We are an intensely practical sex. We often get on with the job. We don't always talk about it as much as men. We get on doing it. But women are very much more modest in running for Parliament than men. Nothing like as many of them put up, as you know.
Stay tuned to hear more history as it unfolds before your ears. It's the audio archives of Fox News Talk.
This is Fox on Justice. Is he a wolf or a sheep? That was the question from Sebastian Wedding's defense attorney. Wedding was about to be sentenced for taking a knife and stabbing to death 3 people outside Gary, Indiana. The lawyer pleaded Wedding had a troubled past, turned his pain inward, and was not a violent man until that night in August 2016. Friends and family members of Wedding were there, saying they loved him and supported him. Wedding himself spoke. He said, "I'm sorry for everything that happened." But others spoke too, relatives of the victims. The grandmother of one said to Wedding, "He was supposed to be your friend," adding, "I can only hope you die in prison." A family friend of another said, "This is just so unfair." And then Judge Daniel Moulter spoke, answering the question, is Wedding a wolf or a sheep? He said, "I'm convinced you're a 25-year-old sheep. I'm convinced you did not want this to happen." And then he sentenced Sebastian Wedding to 55 years in prison. With Fox on Justice, Hank Weinblum, Fox News.
We are back on the Tom Shillue Show. I'm here with Anthony Cumia and Kat Timpf. We didn't talk about Hollywood at all today. What's going on with Hollywood? I mean, it's just name after every day is a new person, right?
Out of control. Allegations flying all over the place. And then the instant, purging of people's careers, and they're just taken off of talk shows, and their catalogs are removed from cable companies and whatnot. And it's based on a single, just an accusation. Now, I understand how horrible it is, and it's probably all true, but it does seem a little dangerous to just, hey, I'm accusing this guy. All right, get rid of him,
I mean, is it, Kat, what do you think? Obviously, you got Harvey Weinstein, right? Obviously, the guy's a total, maniac, right? Mm-hmm. But every day there's, a new thing. Do you think it is getting crazy? Do you think that people are taking action on things that, because a lot of these cases, there's not going to be, the law isn't going to come into it, right? Because they're not going to be able to prosecute a case.
Right. I think it's wonderful to see, honestly. I think it's great to see people finally coming out and speaking out, because either you'll be worried about losing your job, or you'll be worried that, there's no evidence and that no one will believe you.
Yeah.
But, if you look at these people, it's not just some random person accused this person. It's someone will accuse this person, and then more people will come out.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear, for example, that Kevin Spacey's a bad dude.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got,
quite clear.
Another, every day, new people, there's
especially the sociopathic way in which he responded to the first one, being I now choose to live my life as a gay man. So it's okay, so so you want flowers? What?
He thought that was going to get him off the
hook.
He
thought, right. Just
Although,
when you watch people on investigation discovery TV shows that are guilty of murder, and they take the stand because they think that they'll be able to charm their way out of it. That's exactly what it's like.
Although, weirdly, because let's put it on Spacey's, advice and counsel, it has worked in the past. Jim McGreevey absolutely sexually assaulted his subordinate. He had an aide who worked for him.
Yeah.
And then when it was revealed, the scandal was about to break, he did I'm a Gay American, and he was literally put on the front of magazines. It worked for him.
Yeah,
just a couple of years ago.
Culture's changing, which is good.
It is. I mean, it is. Isn't it amazing how that has happened in such a short time, Anthony?
Yeah, and I think McGreevey also was whoa, really? And with Spacey, it's oh, wow. We didn't know. Everyone kind of knew he was gay.
But with Kevin Spacey, it's kind of you heard things in the industry, across the board.
Right.
Harvey Weinstein, all of these people, Kat, I don't know if you did, but I mean, I've been in the acting business since the 90s. I can remember going to auditions and people would say, oh, by the way, don't audition for Bill Cosby because, if you're a woman, because he's a little handsy. I mean, even back then, before it came out.
Everyone seems to have known.
Yes.
And did nothing about it. And I think there is a bit of selfishness in there because you just didn't want to commit career suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, if you're someone who is less powerful, then you can understand. But if you're someone who is in a position of power,
like me,
and you still didn't say something,
what are you going to do? Thanks for being with us, Kat Timpf, Anthony Cumia.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Saturday nights are for letting loose, blowing off some steam, and not taking life too seriously.
Up next, a story that involves life, death, baseball, and toilets.
The Greg Gutfeld Show has the conversation you won't find anywhere else.
I'm going to pretend that I came up with that, even though I saw it on Twitter.
Think this is your run-of-the-mill cable news show?
You're in for one rude awakening.
We're wrapping up the latest from each week and having a little fun along the way.
I'm a nice guy, and they're all
Catch the Craig Gutfeld Show every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Fox News Channel.
Fox Business, 1 year at #1. Shutting out the competition, we own Business Day news. Keeping you ahead before the open.
Markets continuing their record run.
That's exactly what investors wanted to hear.
As trading takes off.
Wall Street is into it. They like what they're hearing.
That's just the reality of these numbers.
Right up to the all-important close.
We're less than an hour to the closing bell. Let's start the countdown.
When it moves the markets and impacts your money. Stay with the most watched business network, Fox Business Network.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it.